Hey guys, do you know as you are watching my video right now, your eyes are under attack? Every scroll, every swipe is silently destroying one of your senses that you rely on the most, which is your sense of vision. Scientists call it digital blindness, and it is spreading more faster than you could ever imagine. But at the end of this video, you will realize why millions of people will soon be walking in darkness and what you can actually do to prevent yourself from becoming one of them. If this is your first time of watching my video, please like, subscribe and comment on my channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, I pray God bless you. I'm still there, your humble brother and your friend, Stephen Oluwatumininu. The rise of digital blindness. How screens are destroying millions of people's eyes every day. Now, before I start telling you about how screen are destroying people's eyes or the damage caused by digital screen, let me just cite to you a scenario of a middle-aged young man who is a software developer. This man used almost 70% of his time working on a laptop. Due to his career and the nature of his career, almost the 70% he was using working on the laptop prone him to be exposed to the blue light which is being emitted by the digital screen, which is the laptop is working on. Later in the day, he started complaining of eye fatigue, eye strain, and some little eye symptoms. But you know, as a normal human being, he ignored those warning signs. But 2 months after, he came back with a complaint of blurring vision, gradual loss of vision, and some eye discomfort. And this was what brought him to the clinic. On getting to the clinic, after history taking and examination of the eye, I diagnosed him of computer vision syndrome. But you now know even the good aspect of this is that after the necessary treatment, after I taught him the necessary precautions and recommendations that he can be applied while working on computer or on his phone, he came back 2 weeks after for follow-up visit with a great improvement in his vision. What are we talking about? The blue light which is being emitted by digital screen devices, either laptop, phone, are of short wavelength and relatively high energy, causing a serious destruction to our eyes. And among the destruction caused by this blue light which is being emitted by the digital screen devices is blue light damage. This blue light which is being emitted by the screen devices penetrate deeply into our eyes, and on reaching the retina, the photoreceptors which are located in the retina absorb this blue light and generate reactive oxygen species which causes oxidative stress and cause a serious damage to the retina cells components like the lipids, proteins, and even the DNA, leading to macular degeneration, macular aging that seriously affects our vision. Knowing fully well that macula is responsible for sharp central vision, and any distortion in the anatomical function of the macula will lead to deterioration in one's vision, and an individual will begin to experience gradual loss of vision, blurring vision, and if a prompt care is not taken adequately or in time, it can lead to a permanent blindness. Among the destruction being caused by the blue light which is being emitted by screen devices is increased risk of myopia. Now, retina do regulate eye length through the means called biochemical signal. Now, the outdoor ray light is very rich in a balanced spectrum and ultraviolet rays that stimulate the release of dopamine, which inhibits excessive eye elongation. Now, the blue light, which is of short wavelength and relatively high energy, emitted by the digital screen devices, override this outdoor ray light, which decreases the release of dopamine, leading to excessive eye elongation, which is the main cause of myopia, that is nearsightedness. Another damage caused is computer vision syndrome. What is computer vision syndrome? These are various syndromes of eye disorders caused by the blue light which is being emitted by the digital screen devices like the laptops, phone, and other devices that make use of screen. And one of the syndrome from computer vision syndrome is retinal stress. How does retinal stress occur? Like we said, that this blue light penetrates deep into our eyes, and on getting to the retina, it destroys the photoreceptors, and the photoreceptors absorb this blue light, thereby generate the reactive oxygen species that causes oxidative stress and cause a serious damage to the retinal cells component like the lipid, the proteins, and the DNA, leading to macular aging and macular degeneration with serious deterioration in vision, blurring vision, and gradual loss of vision. Among the damage caused by the screen devices that emit a blue light which is of short wavelength and relatively very high energy is eye muscle fatigue. Like we all know that eye muscle play a vital role in accommodation. Accommodation is the ability of an eye to focus or to put the focal point of a light ray on the retina in an attempt to focus at a near or distant object. Now, due to persistent stimulation of this ciliary muscle in an attempt to provide accommodation, because this blue light is usually very scattered in the eyes, so this persistent coordination of the ciliary muscle to bring about accommodation in an attempt to put the focal point of the light on the retina in an attempt to focus at distant and near objects lead to eye muscle fatigue, eye muscle strain, which come with series of eye discomfort and pain. Another damage cause is it triggers migraine. There's what we call intrinsic photoreceptor ganglion cells. This is very, very sensitive to blue light which are being emitted by the digital screen devices. Now, the intrinsic photoreceptor ganglion cells don't only regulate vision, but it is also directly connected to the regions of brain that control pain. Now, excessive stimulation of these intrinsic photoreceptor ganglion cells by the blue light which is emitted by the digital screen devices send an excessive signal to the posterior thalamus that control pain, and also to the trigeminal pathway that control migraine, leading to migraine headache that come with series of discomfort and pain in the head. Another one is increased risk of macular degeneration. Like we all know, macula is responsible for sharp central vision, and like we said, this blue light which is emitted by the digital screen devices penetrates deep into our eyes, and when it reaches the retina, the photoreceptors which are located in the retina, that is the rods and the cones, they absorb this blue light and they generate reactive oxygen species that causes oxidative stress and serious damage to the retinal cells components like the lipid, the protein, and the DNA, leading to macular degeneration with serious deterioration in vision, gradual loss of vision, blurring vision, and if adequate care is not being taken in an attempt to combat these serious symptoms that comes with the screen devices emitting a blue light ray which causes a serious destruction to our eyes, it can lead to permanent blindness. Another thing that the damage caused by the blue light which is emitted by the digital screen devices is impaired tear film layer. Now, the function of the tear film is to lubricate the eyelid from rolling on the eyeball. That is, the persistent blinking of the eyelid over the eyeball is being facilitated by the smooth surface of the eyeball, and this happens, that is, when someone is blinking consistently. When you are blinking, the eyelid will spread the tear film over the surface of the eyeball. So when you are being exposed to blue light or prolonged exposure to blue light by persistent working on a computer, reduce the blinking rate. Now the normal blinking rate is about 15 to 20 blink per minute, and when you are being persistently working on a computer, it reduces this blinking rate to about 5 to 7 blink per minute, which causes a stasis of spreading of the tear film on the surface of the eyeball and causing improper smoothing of the surface of the eyeball. And if this occur for a persistent or prolonged period of time, it leads to dry eye syndrome. And if dry eye syndrome is not well taken care of or adequately attended to in time, it can gradually lead to corneal opacity. Do you know that light don't travel through an opaque medium? The moment there's corneal opacity, and especially if it occurs at the region of the pupil, definitely that is total and permanent blindness, and there's nothing that could be done to that. Prevention is better and cheaper to cure. Why don't we take the necessary precautions, take the necessary recommendations to prevent ourselves from sharing part of this permanent blindness caused as a result of digital screen devices? Another damage caused by the blue light emitted by the digital screen devices is ignoring the early symptoms, early warning signs that could lead to permanent blindness. And just like as I've just explained, the example I gave, that for example, due to dry eye syndrome, which is caused by alteration in the blinking or decreased blinking rate, can result into dry eye syndrome. And if the dry eye syndrome is not well taken care of in time, it can lead to corneal ulcer with corneal opacity, because corneal ulcer will eventually heal with opacity, and light don't travel through an opaque medium, which is just a symbol of blindness, that is permanent blindness. So ignoring the early warning signs and early warning symptoms can be so devastating. When we have any eye discomfort or any complaint in our eye, let's just move to the nearby hospital to take adequate treatment, because one thing about eye illness, the better it, or the earlier you attend to any eye illness, the better the prognosis will be. So it is very, very important that when we start feeling any symptoms in our eye, don't let us wait until when we begin to have a kind of deterioration in vision, or by the time we begin to experience loss of vision, before we should know that we expected to take adequate treatment for our eye. Now, how can we prevent ourselves from sharing or becoming one of the victims of digital blindness? Now, there's what we call Rule 20-20-20. What is it telling us? It said every 20 minutes, take your eye away from the screen, focus at an object that is located for about 20 feet away from you for 20 seconds. Let me come again. Every 20 minutes, keep your eye away from the screen, focus at an object that is located about 20 feet away from where you are every 20 seconds or for 20 seconds. We also have some eye softwares which we can install on our laptops or on our phone that will help us, that will prevent us from sharing from this digital blindness. An example is Eyelio. If you install Eyelio on your phone or your computer, number one, it helps you to reduce or to regulate the intensity of your screen, thereby preventing the blue light from directly entering into the eye and causing serious of damages to the photoreceptor cells and even the retina, leading to macular aging or macular degeneration. We have Iris. It's also one of the eye software that you can simply just install on your phone or your computer. What Iris does is to also remind you to take a break and observe your Rule 20-20-20. And it also helps us to regulate the intensity of the screen, that is to prevent the direct light intensity of the blue light which is being emitted by the digital screen devices like laptops and phone from directly entering into our eye, getting scattered into our eye, destroying the photoreceptors, which are the rods and the cone, and even the macula, which is responsible for sharp central vision. Another thing is you can just cultivate the habit of taking some nutrients that are very, very important for sight improvement. What are these nutrients now? The diet that are very rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, antioxidants, anthocyanins, lutein, and even magnesium, potassium, folate. All these things are very, very important. Even to talk of omega-3 fatty acid, all these are very, very important. Let's inculcate this into our daily diet. Let's make it a tradition, and we shall begin to experience a great improvement in our vision, both the reading ability and also the distant vision. If you have benefited from this my video, don't forget to like my video, comment on my video, subscribe to my channel, and I will always provide you with a lot of the information you need for your eye improvement, you need for your eye protection. I'm always here to satisfy your need and to put smile on your faces. I'm still that your humble brother and your friend, Stephen Oluwatumininu. Thank you and God bless.